I'm going to say something right now that is hard for Americans to wrap their minds around. It turns out that back in the days of the 13 colonies, we didn't really matter all that much. The biggest reason why the British had neglected the American colonies so long was because these colonies were low priority. The British cared a lot more about what was happening at home, in Europe, and in terms of colonies, they cared a lot more about the Caribbean, about their colonies in Asia, than these North American colonies. We ended up winning the American Revolution partly because the colonies didn't really matter. The British eventually decided that the cost, the sacrifice was too high to keep fighting to hold on to these colonies. And there are a couple of key factors that led them to that conclusion. First of all, a lot of people back in Britain got tired of the war and started to think that it wasn't really worth it. And since the British live in a place that's not an absolute monarchy, where the government has to care about public opinion, over time they say, we better give this thing up if we want to keep our jobs. And when the French entered the war, this once again caused Britain to ask themselves if this was really worth it, because the French start to threaten their interests in the Caribbean, in Asia, in Europe, and France figures Britain's distracted. Let's take advantage of it. So the British realize we better give this thing up, or we might lose a place that really matters. So sorry, Americans. Turns out we're not necessarily the center of the universe, and we're even less the center of the universe back then.